Welcome to this solo playthrough of Aces and Armor in solo mode. Today I'm going to play the US faction against one of the German factions. I decided to play only with one set of miniatures each. You can of course play with two sets if you want a longer game. And I'm playing with the left-hand side of the winter map. You can play with any side of the map, and you can of course also play with the full map. Let's get started. I'm shuffling these start tokens upside down, and I'm dealing out 3 to the human player and 3 to the Automa player. Then I'm gonna place my units. So I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do it like this, and then for the Automa player, I'm gonna take the tokens and put them in an opaque bag or cup, shuffle it, and then draw out the tokens. I'll draw 2 for the first start marker. That's a mobile infantry and the fighter aircraft. Then next one, an infantry and an artillery. Last one is the tank and the bomber. I'm playing in easy mode now. If I would play in standard difficulty, I would add another artillery unit to the Automa player, and all the additional units would go last. So at the last turn, you pull everything that's still left in the cup or bag and put them on the start marker. Then I would roll a die to determine who places the units first. Automa has the higher number, so Automa places the unit first, turns around the first marker, that's a 5, and places the according units there. The first unit is the mobile infantry that goes in the middle, and the other way is clockwise around, starting with the top. Then the human player starts, that's a 3, going like that. Then the Automa again, that's number 4. Where's the 4 here? Infantry goes in the middle, and the other one clockwise around it, starting from the top. Human player number 1, that's all the way up here. Automa, tank, and Stuka fighter aircraft on number 6. Number 6 is here. Tank goes first, Stuka on top, and then the last one is the human player, which is the number 2, and I would go like this. All right. Then we roll a die again to determine who starts. That's the Automa. Automa would start. Remember, in the very first round, the first player only moves one of their armies, second player then 2, then again 2 armies, and then finally, from then on, everyone moves all the 3 armies. The Automa starts, that would be their first army, so the one on the number 5. The Automa would follow the action priorities here. So infantry goes first, and it would try to conquer a factory. That doesn't work. And the next priority would be to move as close to a factory as possible, so to an adjacent hex. It could reach that or that factory. It should move away furthest from enemy units, so that's the movement priorities. So that would be this factory down here. That would be furthest away from enemy units. So it would move 1, 2, 3, 4, and it would even move down here because it's even further away from the enemies. Next up is the aircraft. Aircraft would try to attack a unit it can destroy. Then no unit can be destroyed. Then an enemy that cannot shoot back. There are plenty of them, actually those ones and this one up here. Then next priority would be an infantry that can reach a neutral factory in the next turn, there would be that one. That cannot shoot back, that fulfills the priority, and it can reach a factory next turn. So the fighter would go up here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10, 11, 12. So up there, and would attack. The Automa never rolls a die for attacking. Instead, it deals damage equal to their strength, hits equal to their strength. So the Messerschmitt would deal 1 hit to the American infantry, which is in a forest. So I have to read the green table here, and it would require 2 hits for damage, so nothing happens. Next turn is the human player. So that is me. Let me think what I'm gonna do. Let me just check how. I'm probably gonna move that one. Just checking my Mustang, how far it can fly. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I wanted to reach the enemy bomber, but it's too far actually. So I'm gonna move those guys first. So this bomber goes down here to attack the infantry. Then this infantry walks up to the factory, next to the factory here. And then I'm gonna move these guys. This one would move. We'll try to move into a forest adjacent to the factory. Let's count 1, 1.5, 2.5, 4. Okay, that works. So it would move here into the forest, well hidden and protected and adjacent to the factory. And then I have this aircraft. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So that can move 12 hexes. So I would move down here as well. All right, announcing my attacks. Bomber and then fighter attack the infantry, and that's it. I do not get additional red dice because it's ground combat. The airplanes would only support each other in an air combat. I'm rolling the dice for the bomber, and every die with a 6 or less does a hit. So that's 1, 2, well, only 2 hits. 2 hits on the German infantry gives it 1 damage. So 1 damage marker for the infantry and 1 experience marker for the bomber because it has damaged an enemy unit. Next up is the fighter aircraft that would also attack the German infantry. It hits on a ground targets on a 2 or less. So that's 1, 2, again 1 damage and 1 experience on the fighter aircraft. That's it. Next up would be the Automa player, and that they would move again 2 armies, and that would be the 2 ones down here. Infantry goes first. That one, and the infantry would try to reach an enemy or neutral factory or move as close as possible. So this is the closest way. So it would try to move here. And I can choose to intercept it now, which with the fighter, which I wouldn't do. So I let it move on, and so it would move here to reach that factory. Then the artillery would try to attack an enemy unit, and it would try to attack an infantry that is adjacent to a factory, which would be that one or that one. Let's see which one I can reach. That's 1.5, 2, 3. Cannot reach that one. 1.5, 2, 3, and cannot reach that one either. So it would move. It would try to move as close as possible to one of those 2 units, and would try to get attack the most expensive of the 2 units first. So that would be that one, because it can reach both of them actually in the next turn then, so it doesn't matter. And picking between the 2 of them, it would pick the most expensive unit. So it would go 1.5, 2, 3, and would walk down for that one. And those guys, artillery first, they've moved that, then aircraft. So this aircraft would pick a target. It would try to destroy a unit which it can't, and then it would try to attack the infantry adjacent to the factory as well. It has 11 movement points. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So it would move up here and attack the US mobile infantry. It would deal 4 hits, and 4 hits translates into 2 damage on the mobile infantry, and the Stuka aircraft gets 1 experience point. Next up is the tank. Tank has similar priority, so it would try to move up here as well. So that would be 1. So tank has 4 movement points. That's 1, 2, 3, 4. Again, I could intercept it, which I choose not to do because it passed here. Okay, that's the movement of the Automa player. Next up is the human player again, and now I can move all of my troops. What am I going to do? I mean, very obvious, I'm going to conquer this factory, getting a US token on it, and I will conquer this factory, getting a token as well. Then my fighter aircraft would try to shoot down the bomber, flying 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Those guys, the tank would try to attack the other tank. That's 1, 2, 3, 4. That's 1, 2, 3, 4. Unfortunately, cannot reach the tank. One, 2, 3, 4. Yeah. Moves here and attacks the artillery, and this guy goes 1, 2, and attacks the tank and the bomber. Let's remove the artillery first. No, well. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm going to try to remove this infantry first. Announcing my attacks. The fighter aircraft attacks the bomber. The howitzer will shoot down to the infantry, the bomber as well, and then the tank attacks the anti-tank gunners, which will be, I'm just wondering if I should do that. Yeah. Yes. Okay. Starting with the fighter aircraft. My Mustang deals hits on a 4 or less. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 hits on the Stuka give the Stuka 2 damage and 1 experience point, of course, for my fighter. But the Stuka can fight back. Second experience point for my plane. Stuka fights back with 2 or less, with dealing 2 hits on the fighter, which would give it 1 damage, and it receives 1 experience point for that. Next up is my artillery attacks this infantry's down here. My howitzer hits on a 5 or less. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 hits on the German infantry is 3 damage. 1, 2, 3. And 1 experience point for my howitzer. And now my plane attacks. Actually, the aircraft now gets 2 additional dice because it's an attack from an adjacent field on a ground unit and then a unit from another arms category has the unit in range, in this case aircraft and artillery. So I'm going to get 2 additional red dice. Rolling the dice, bomber hits on a 6 or less. Yeah, that's more than enough to destroy the German infantry. And since it has destroyed an enemy unit, it would get 2 experience points. And it has just upgraded to veteran status. As a reminder, the first 2 experience points are white, and then 2 yellow ones, and then the red one starts. And with each new color, it levels up to a new status. All right, that's it for. Oh no, and I wanted to attack the artillery here. Again, I would get 2 red dice because that's a tank, and that's that artillery has this one in range as well. So I would get 2 additional dice for combined arms, fire support. My Sherman tank hits on a 5 or less. That's 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 hits gives it 2 damage and 1 experience point on my Sherman tank. Unfortunately, the artillery would hit back with dealing 4 hits, which would give the Sherman 2 damage as well. And the artillery gets an experience point. Finally, I would collect 2 coins because I have 2 factories. I cannot purchase a unit yet because I have no vacant factory. So I need to place the unit in a free factory, but there's no space actually. Next up is the Automa player. It can move all the units again as well. It would start occupying this factory here, getting a occupation token. Next up would be artillery per movement priorities, and it would try to attack a unit that it can destroy. This one not, because the that has 2 damage already. It would require 7 hits to be destroyed, and the artillery will only deal 4 hits. Then moving down, it would try to attack an enemy infantry that can reach a neutral or enemy factory in the next turn. And that would be that one, because it could move down here to this neutral factory. So this is the priority target. It would try to move to a position as here on or next to a road, first priority, or closest to my next unit. So that would be that position because it's next to a road. No, it's actually that one. Because it's in range, that's the first priority. It's next to a road, that's the second priority, and as close to your next unit as possible, which would be that. So this is the hex it would move to, and then it would attack the mobile infantry, dealing 4 hits, and 4 hits gives it 2 damage and 1 experience point for the artillery. Next is aircraft. Aircraft would follow the same priorities and would try to attack a unit it can destroy. First, starting with the fighter aircraft, actually, or starting with the bomber actually, because it can destroy the unit, and because it would deal 4 damage, which would cause 2 damage to the infantry. So this one would attack this one, destroying the mobile infantry and getting 2 experience points for the successful kill. Now the Stuka gets 2 yellow experience points. Already had 2 white ones, so it would get 2 yellow ones, and up level to veteran status. This would follow the same priorities, so it would try to attack. No, this infantry cannot reach a factory in the next turn, so it would try to follow down the action priorities. An enemy infantry that can reach a factory that's not there. The most experienced enemy unit, and that would be the bomber. So it would move down here and attack the bomber. It would deal 6 hits to the bomber, and 6 hits translate into 2 damage to the bomber. Wait a second. The bomber, oh yeah, sorry. Yeah, that's right. No, it would actually hit an enemy unit that cannot shoot back first, and the bomber can shoot back first. So it would be one of the 2 here, and because those 2 cannot shoot back, so it would pick one of the 2 targets. It would be hit the most experienced one. They have both equal experience. Then it would try to hit the most expensive one, and the Sherman costs 5. The howitzer only 4, so it would go down here and attack actually the Sherman tank. On ground, it would only deal 1 damage, and 1 damage doesn't do 1 hit doesn't do any damage to the Sherman tank. All right, that's it for the Automa. It would get 1 coin for the 1 occupied factory as well. Now it's the human player's turn again. So first of all, I would move out with the infantry, walking towards that or that factory. I don't know yet, so I'm just gonna 1, 2, 1, 2, going down here. Then trying to take down the, should I take down the artillery first or the tank? That's the question. Or even this guy down here. 1, 2, 3. One, 2, 3, 4, 5. So yeah, let's start with the artillery. So I'm gonna take down the artillery and the fighter aircraft, and that's it. So that was my turn. My artillery shoots on that artillery, then my bomber, and then the Sherman tank. Artillery starts. Is that actually necessary? No, I'm gonna shoot with the artillery on the tank actually, and then these 2 guys should be enough to destroy the artillery. I hope I'm not miscalculating, and then the fighter attacks this one. So first one, howitzer attacks the tank, hits on a 5 or less. That is 1, 2, 3, 4 hits. 4 hits give the Tiger tank only 1 damage. 1 damage for the Tiger, and 1 experience point for my howitzer. And then my bomber with 2 red dice because, oh, it's actually 3 red dice because it gets combined arm support from a tank and from an artillery unit. And it's already experienced, so it would hit ground targets with an 8 or less. So let's count. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 hits on the anti-tank gunners. 8 hits on the anti-tank gunners. That's 4. Yes, 4 damage, and it already had 2 damage, so it would be destroyed now. Nice. That was good. And since I've destroyed a unit, I would get 2 experience points with my bomber, and I've actually got my red experience, which means this guy is a war hero now. The tank would have attacked the artillery, but it doesn't, and I cannot change the target now anymore since I've announced it already. Now my fighter aircraft would attack the enemy bomber. It already has 1 damage, so it can only roll 10 dice. 1 damage means 10 dice. And it hits with a 4 or a less. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 hits. Nice. 6 hits is 2 damage on the Stuka. But the Stuka would hit back. It only had 2 damage, so it would deal its full strength back at the fighter aircraft. So fighter gets 1 experience as well. And the Stuka attacks air targets with a 2. So 2 hits would deal 1 damage to my fighter aircraft. Then I'll get 2 coins because I had 2 factories, and I'll use 3 coins to purchase a mobile infantry, and I put it actually right into the action. So here in the middle. Cool, that's my turn. Next turn is the Automa. So that infantry would move first, and the infantry would try to reach an enemy factory. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It would try to move furthest away from an enemy unit, so it would not go here, but actually here. Then artillery, I don't have an artillery, and then aircraft. These two, they would try to attack priorities is an enemy unit it can destroy. The Stuka would deal 3 hits, and 3 hits would not be sufficient to destroy anyone. So it would go to the next action priority, an enemy infantry adjacent to a factory or that can reach a factory next turn. Let me see, that's 1.5, 2, 3, 4. This guy can reach this factory, so it would be the attack target. Stuka would deal 3 damage, as I just said, which would give 3 hits, which would give 2 damage to the American mobile infantry, and the Stuka would get 1 experience point, which would also give it the war hero status with a red one. The fighter aircraft actually follows exactly the same priorities, so it would move 1 up here, actually here because it wants to be as close to its own friendly units, attack the mobile infantry, which would deal 1 damage, and it gets 1 experience point. Next up would be the tank, and that one would try to hit a unit that cannot attack back, which would be the howitzer here. So it would try to, well, actually, at first priority would be, yeah, one that cannot attack back. So that would be this guy. So it would try to move here, ideally trying to avoid enemy contact, which is not possible. So it would try to move here, and I would intercept the tank right here with my bomber, putting an intercept marker between the two. So the tank needs to stop moving here, and will get attacked from my bomber next turn. That's it. It would Automa player would get 1 coin, and it would not do a purchase. It would save for a mobile infantry. Next up is the human player. So I would move up here 1/2, 2, 3, 4 to go to that factory, and then move my infantry further down. That is 1, 2, 3. Cannot go any further. Then the bomber cannot move because it has to attack the tank. This Sherman moves down here to attack the mobile infantry. The artillery would attack the mobile infantry as well, and the fighter aircraft would try to shoot down the enemy bomber. That's it. Starting with the bomber, bomber rolls all dice, and it has the artillery is in range of the tank, so I would get combined arms support again. Bomber has war hero status, so it hits on a 10 or less. That is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. 13 hits on the tank deals 5. Oh no, the tank is in a forest, so I had 13, so it would deal only 4 damage, so the tank would survive. Would it have been on the road, then it would have been killed, so good, always good to move into a forest. But I can tell you it won't make it much longer actually. And then I'm removing the intercept marker because I've done my intercept attack. Next up is the howitzer, which would hit the mobile infantry. On a far field attack, you never get red dice for support. It's always if you're attacking close combat, so a unit that's adjacent. And the howitzer would hit on a 5 or less. That is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 hits on the German mobile infantry is 3 damage. And 1 experience point for my howitzer, which would be a yellow one. So then the Sherman attacks. It has 2 damage already, so it can roll 10 dice, but it would get fire support because the artillery is in range. Note that the German mobile infantry will shoot back. Sherman hits on a 5 or less. That's 1, 2, 3, 4. And 4 hits is 2 damage, which unfortunately the German mobile infantry will survive. And it hits back. It had 3 damage already, so it will only deal half of its strength. So 1 hit, and 1 hit does not damage the Sherman tank. All right, that's it for my turn. I would collect 2 coins again for my 2 factories and would purchase another mobile infantry right away and place it up here again, right in the middle of the in the hotspot. Next up is the Automa infantry first. This infantry would move in here, occupy the factory. Then the aircraft would try to destroy an enemy unit, which they might be able to do because the Stuka will deal 4, it's very damaged, so it would deal 4 hits. No, it cannot. Then they would try to eliminate the infantry, dealing 4 hits, 4 hits, which would translate into 2 damage, and the mobile infantry would shoot back. It had 3 damage already, so it would have hit back with 8 dice. Hitting with a 2 or less, so no hit, and since it hasn't caused any hit and not damaged an enemy unit, it would not get experience either. This would try to do the same. It would go here. I cannot intercept it. Oh, actually, why not? Sure, I'll intercept it, but it would take a course. So if the Automa player as it does an obviously dumb choice, so it would not fly in direct line if I can intercept it. It would try to fly around if it has enough movement point, which it has, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So it would move up here, try to attack the the enemy infantry and would deal one hit, which would destroy it. Because one hit translates into one damage point, and it would get one experience. Next up is the tank. Same priorities. It would try to attack this guy, moving up here, and I would intercept him right away. Automa would get 2 coins now, and it would save for a mobile infantry again. Next up is human player's turn. Human player next. What am I going to do? So this is obvious. I have to attack that one. I'll fly up here to destroy the bomber. I'll move down to the factory here. And this guy just follows. And then the artillery attacks the mobile infantry. This guy attacks the tank, this one here. And just to be sure, the tank attacks it as well. All right, bomber starts. It's a ground attack, and the artillery has it in range as well. Oh, and an infantry is adjacent to the tank. So I'm getting all 3 dice. That's gonna be a slam dunk. Yeah, more than enough to destroy the enemy Tiger tank. That didn't do a lot in this battle, so I don't think it ever attacked. And then I can remove the intercept token. Then the howitzer would attack the mobile infantry here, removing the red dice because it's a far field attack. And on far field attack, you never get any red dice. Yeah, and that's enough to destroy the German mobile infantry. And I would get 2 experience points, 1 yellow one, and then a red one. So another war hero here. And this one gets exciting. I can only attack with 10 dice because it has 2 damage already. But it has veteran status, so the Mustang would hit with a 6 or less. That is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 hits is 3 damage on the Stuka and would destroy it. The Stuka would still fire back though. It would hit on a 6, but it has already more than 3 damage, so it would only deal half of its strength. So it would hit with 3 hits, and 3 hits on the Mustang is just 1 damage. And since the Stuka is gone, the Mustang would get 2 experience points and would have reached war hero status as well. Which will come in handy when the Mustang has to fight the Messerschmitt later on, because Messerschmitt is actually the jet fighter, has one of the highest air attacks ever in the game. All right, that's it. I'll collect 2 coins and I'm gonna save the money for later. Next is the Automa player. It only has 1 fighter aircraft. It would try to hit a unit it can destroy or 1 adjacent to an enemy factory. So it would fly 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and would attack the mobile infantry, dealing it 1 damage, getting 1 experience point, which would be a yellow one now, and the mobile infantry would have hit back because the mobile infantry has air attack ability indicated by the cloud symbol, hitting with a 2 or less. That's 1, 2, 3, and that would be 1 damage to the Messerschmitt and 1 experience point for the mobile infantry. That's it. It would collect 2 coins and would make a purchase for 3 coins and would buy a mobile infantry. It would not place it here because there is an enemy unit adjacent, enemy infantry adjacent to it, so it will place it here. Next up is human player's turn. Very easy, so I would go with a mobile infantry, occupy the factory, get as token. Then I will move my regular infantry up here, 1, 2, to approach that factory. And then I would try to take down this one here. My bomber has 10 movement points, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Taking that one on. Sherman goes after it as well. 1, 2, 3, 4. Going here, howitzer would move down here, and then my aircraft would take on the enemy Messerschmitt. Starting with the bomber here, the bomber hits with a 10 or less now. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 hits on the enemy infantry is here 5 damage already. So this guy's not going to do much more. It would hit back, dealing 1 damage to the bomber though, and receiving 1 experience point. This is a fun battle. My Mustang only already has 3 hits, so it would only hit with 8 dice. But it would hit with a 8 or less. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 hits on the Messerschmitt is 4 damage, which it would still survive, unfortunately. And the Messerschmitt would hit back and deal 6 hits to the Mustang. And with 6 hits, the Mustang would get 3 damage and would unfortunately be destroyed. Damn it. So the Messerschmitt would actually get 2 experience points, being promoted to War Hero as well. Okay, that was my turn. I would get 3 coins now, and I have 5, so I would purchase a fighter aircraft right away and put this one here. Automa is up next. It would try to reach a factory. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That would be the closest way to the factory. And that one would try to attack a unit it can destroy, or a unit that cannot shoot back, or one that can reach your factory. Let's see if that one can reach the factory. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yes, this one could reach the factory, reach the factory next turn. But first priority is actually that it cannot shoot back. So it would attack one that cannot shoot back first, which would be that one or that one, and it would go for the higher experienced one, which is this one, and it would deal 3 damage, so 5, and by half rounded up, so 3 hits on the howitzer and 3 hits on the howitzer would give it 2 damage. Automa would collect 1 coin and save for a mobile infantry. Next up is human player. I would go 1, 2 up here, and with this guy I would move, as I just said, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 would go down here, but I have to remove the bomber first. Bomber flies up here, and this one goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, stays here, and the Sherman moves up again. That's 1, 2, 3, 4. All of those guys attack this one, and my fighter would take on this fighter. Starting with the howitzer. Howitzer attacks this guy here. It can roll 10 dice because it has 2 damage already. And it actually only needs to land 1 hit to destroy it. Yes, so this one is gone. And then my fighter aircraft would attack the enemy fighter aircraft, rolling 12 dice and hitting on a 4 or less. That's 1 which is enough to hit it, and that will be destroyed. However, the Messerschmitt deals damage back, and that's actually 5 hits back on the Mustang, and that is 2 damage on the Mustang. Mustang gets 2 damage and 2 experience points. That's it. I would collect 3 coins. I really don't need to spend those anymore. Automa cannot move. I would move in here and have occupied my 4th factory, meaning I've won the game. Yay, that was nice. Epic victory over the Germans. However, I've played in easy mode, I must admit. Yeah, it was still fun. I hope you enjoyed watching. I certainly enjoyed the game. Thanks for watching. See you soon.